UFC 273 has an interesting narrative for each bout on the main card. Each fight possesses a unique outcome for every legacy that is put on the line. The top 3 fights on the main card have the public believing these bouts playing out by utter domination, 2 of them being title fights, and the third being a highly anticipated match to see who challenges the welterweight king next. Today, we look at UFC 273, Volkanovski, who is defending his featherweight title, versus the Korean Zombie, who has long waited for his second chance at the title. I mean, remember, the last time he's fought for a title was against Aldo. Bantamweight unification title bout between Sterling versus Jan 2. Then we got probably fight of the year contender Burns versus Chimaev. There will be more great fights on this card, such as Gary versus Weeks, Torres versus Dern, and a newly added fight for the main card, Pichel versus Madsen. And there's so much more action-packed fights in this card in the early prelims and in the prelims. So let's look at the people most desires to see what they've accomplished and how the fights could possibly conclude on April 9th. Okay, I'm your host, Niall, right, on Royall MMA News, where we stay loyal, honest, dedicated, and humble. That's what makes both kings and queens. Now, for the main event of the evening, where the featherweight crown is on the line, Volkanovski is the champ for a reason. You know, Volk is a tough man, he has grit, he's diverse in skills, has great wrestling, has great striking, he carries tons of power, although we haven't seen him utilize that much in his past fights or in his legacy overall, but he does possess such. Alex's last outing against Brian Ortega, where Ortega put him in a tight guillotine, Alex was placed in a dire situation that nearly cost him his title, okay? Remember that? Whenever he gets into a tough situation, he quickly knows how to scramble out of them and place himself back into the winning favor. For Zombie, being the fighter that absorbs so much damage, it nearly does nothing. Not only that, but he can put you in a very dangerous situation, whether it's striking or on the ground. I mean, remember the twister. He's infamous for the twister. With the toolset that Zombie possesses, the striking, the grappling, it could be a legitimate threat for Volk. Zombie is known to get hit a lot though. So for Zombie, he needs to apply pressure without getting hit with significant damage, and to be smart, technical, be the bigger fighter, walk down Volk if possible, pressure with intimidation, feints, yet, you know, it's not going to be easy because Volk can read you like a book, okay? So, Zombie has to place. I mean, he could possibly place Volk in many dangerous positions, but Volk will then start to realize that as the fight progresses, he'll be more aware of the open opportunities that could pull the win via dominant decision or KO. We'll have to see. I hope I'm wrong, but stylistically and statistically, Volk wins. He knows how to crack puzzles, ladies and gentlemen. Sterling versus Jan, you know, for that fight, the first fight between these men made it out very strange, controversial, illegal, I'll say. No, but seriously, in the first round, Sterling came out blitzing, hoping to knock out Jan. There were a few great moments and great takedowns that happened for Sterling, but in the first round, hands down, that was Sterling's, okay? Though as the fight progressed in rounds 2, 3, 4, Sterling gassed and began fatiguing, whereas Jan was just warming up. He caught his rhythm, started taking down Sterling, which is hard to do for someone that has funky striking, but unfortunately he need Sterling in the dome, getting up off the mat. So for this fight, it's going to be hard to pick. For Sterling to win against the previous Jan, he needs to be patient and pick his shots off beat. Be funky with your feints and mix it up. You want to throw off Jan's rhythm. The takedowns worked in the first round for the first fight, evidently, but for Jan to win this fight, he needs to be the way he was in the first fight, keeping composure and being a sharpshooter with his shots. Counter well, smart, strategically, fast, hard, but no illegal shots this time, please. You can weaken the source that provides Sterling to move awkwardly, funky. I mean, that's his nickname. And in order to do so is to take out his legs, take them out. Then you'll see the ultimate results to win you the fight. This is going to be a fun fight to watch. I guarantee you that. I know that for sure. Seeing both Sterling and Jan's training camp footage, they look in tip-top shape or ready to go. Because Sterling, he's learned a lot since the first fight, and he's going to apply that same knowledge into the second fight. So for my prediction in the second one, I had to stand with Sterling. I have a feeling either being a decision or submission. I'm going to take this word for being a different fighter this coming bout. He's proved it in the past before. Don't underestimate him, okay? Burns versus Chimaev. It's going to be a fun fight. Gilbert Burns and Khamzat Chimaev. Alright, the multiple Swedish freestyle wrestling champ. This fight has the potential to be the fight of the night or just fight of the year. Both men can finish each other and or submit one another. But let's first talk about Chimaev, okay? Being the new threat in the division, he has climbed the ranks fast like never before since Usman's rise to the title and to take over the division, making a name for himself, Khamzat Chimaev, and becoming the star he is today, Khamzat Chimaev, running with nearly flawless victories. Reason why I say that is because he's only been hit twice out of his past 4 fights. 2 came by KO, and the other 2 by submission. Chimaev is on a mission, but his top priority is to get the gold strap currently in the welterweight division. Who title challenger Gilbert Burns beats the champ. It's the question of who wants to win more. Burns is the one who experienced the atmosphere. He's comfortable. He's familiar with it when he fought for the title. But does that make him hungrier than Chimaev, even coming up short after the title shot? Or the question being, is Khamzat hungrier since he hasn't reached that stratosphere yet, but has the ultimate goal of being the first 3-time champion in the UFC? Burns is clearly more seasoned, more experienced in the UFC, in the sport in general. Chimaev in the sport and has a jiu-jitsu pedigree, but he's well-rounded. Not forgetting to mention condition as well. Burns was the first to drop Usman in their bouting in the first round. Remember that. That just tells the amount of power he carries in his hands. Doesn't mean to underestimate Chimaev because he has the same power as well. He may not be as sharp and fluid in his striking combinations compared to Burns, though it doesn't mean he can't put you out with one punch at any moment, because we've seen it before. In the first round, I see this fight being a striking competition in the first couple of rounds. Maybe just the first round until someone gets rocked. Someone's going to get rocked in this fight, guaranteed, because both men know the level each possesses when it comes to grappling. Therefore, till that happens, we're going to see the takedowns and the grappling and the ground and pound exchanges come into play. My prediction for this fight, Khamzat Chimaev by KO first or second round. Now that you know my prediction for this weekend's fight by UFC 273 by Royall MMA News, I want you to go ahead, like, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified weekly, as there will be a lot more content posted this year. A lot more juicy, a lot more fun. This is just the beginning, okay? The beginning of the reign. Have a beautiful day, guys.